Welcome to TOMMO'S Race CHINWAG, your favourite Formula 1 podcast produced by a British biased bloke with a massive Swede full of very questionable wheel knowledge. Broadcast live on YouTube and after the fact on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We have a good old natter about each and every Grand Prix of the season. My name's Tommo, let's talk about it. You know what, sometimes sprint races deserve their own dedicated CHINWAG, and that's exactly what we're doing today. Welcome everyone to TOMMO'S post-race CHINWAG, but it's post-sprint CHINWAG this time out. Austin was chaos. That turn one will feed families for many generations. Woo, interesting. Only 8-point swing towards Max Verstappen, but both McLarens out early doors. Stroll harpooning Ocon, some terrible race direction for the one, potential overtake for the lead as well. Both Ferraris scrapping each other. It was chaos and I enjoyed it. And sometimes I'm gonna cover these sprints. Sometimes I am, because sometimes it deserves it. Welcome everyone. Rainer, Halita, Kirsten, Alfie, Mac, Aviator Knight, Kira, Ferrox, Short Guy, PP, Vladimir, Harrow, Master, Franz, and the rest of you watching live here on YouTube and after the fact on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, however you choose to consume. Make sure you like and comment your thoughts and feelings down below. We, of course, have got the race coming tomorrow, but let's talk about the sprint today. Dedicated sprint day. Sometimes it's worth it, and this is one of those days. Thank you all for joining me. Let's get into it, shall we? Starting with how sprint qualifying went yesterday, right? Around, again, a very, very warm Austin, Texas. It's been absolutely blisteringly hot, which, of course, works with some cars, not so much with others. And going into this weekend, we were very much, look, McLaren do seem to have an advantage tyre preservation-wise. They should, even if they can't qualify on pole, which they didn't yesterday, over a race distance, they should be in a good place. And we never got to saw that today because they lasted about, a few hundred metres. So Max Verstappen did put it on pole yesterday. A superb lap, superb final. Couple of corners as well to clutch up his pole position. Ahead of Lando Norris by about 71 thousandths of a second. Oscar Piastri, bit of a stinker in quali. Still P3 in the end, but a good 3/10 off the pace. 3/10 off of Lando, in fact. So he was not happy post-quali. Hulkenberg P4, clutch. Finally, the qualifying god who seems to have been hiding for most of this year, where Bortoletto's been kind of having one over on him every single weekend in quali. Nico delivered the goods. P4, love your work. George Russell P5 in a Mercedes that was always going to be a big challenge coming into this weekend to get that car to work in the heats. P5 for him. Alonso P6, superb from Fernando, as he loves to do. Carlos Sainz P7. He was only actually within a tenth, I'm sure, Sainz. From P5, Russell. So, Hulkenberg can't have been that much further up the road. I'm pretty sure he wasn't. So, that battle for fourth was pretty tight. Hamilton, P8. Leclerc, P10. Not a good day for Ferrari. And Alex Albon slotting into to Q3. A couple of tenths off of Carlos, but all in all, got to be fairly happy with that as a Williams fan. Unbelievable livery, by the way, unbelievable livery from Williams this weekend. If you've not seen it, go check it out. It's a hark back to Juan Pablo Montoya in the glory days of Williams. It looks so good on that car. It looks so. I know you all criticise me. Oh, Tommo, in your redesigns you just add white. Sorry, but just adding white often makes the livery better because you add a bit more contrast. It looks like a Hot Wheels car. I love it. Antonelli P11, disappointing, of course, given it's a Mercedes, but George wasn't amazing either. Hadjar, Gasly, Stroll, Lawson rounded out the cars that got into Q2, and then we had absolute chaos, didn't we, in Q1? So many cars not making their laps, tripping up over each other. Lawson and Tsunoda almost came together. It was not very good. It was very Monza-esque. Everyone's rushing for the line. Barely anyone made it. Tsunoda didn't get set another lap. Ocon didn't get set another lap. Bortoletto lost his first lap for track limits. So that didn't work out too well, did it, in sprint quali? But it did tee things up nicely for today, didn't it? Nicely for today. And before we look at the result of today's sprint race that has just finished literally half an hour ago, if that, let's talk about the incident, shall we? So I'm just going to chuck a little poll here. Who do you consider at fault And I'm going to give you two options. Is it a racing incident's fault? Because sometimes it just is. Or is it Piastri's? Obviously, Lando had nothing to do with this. He's caught up very much. There's nothing else he would have done differently. Oscar, you could argue, maybe should have done things a little bit differently. Maybe a bit naive to do a cutback into turn one at Austin, when almost certainly there's going to be cars up your inside. You're opening yourself up to that. But at the end of the day, it is one of them where you have a corner that is so wide and you can fit, well, not just 4 wide, you can fit about 14 cars wide if you really wanted to. Then the chance of someone tripping up over each other is pretty high, pretty significantly. Alonso squeezed Hulk, a few of you. That's what you're saying, Laura. People saying Hulk is insane. Neither. It's racing incident, but more on Oscar for the insane cutback. No way it's Piastri's fault. Hulk kind of was at fault there. Look, it's one of them where sometimes, and maybe more often, I don't know, some people are like, oh, you're just calling it a racing incident is just a way of sitting on the fence. No, but like sometimes, and we see this, remember Singapore 2017, 18, when we had Vettel, Raikkonen and Verstappen, and you had the car on the outside, didn't know about the car on the inside. The car on the inside didn't know about the car on the outside. And the car in the middle is caught between a rock and a hard place, and you have a big crash. And it's one of them where, it is risky. Oscar took on the risk to go for a cutback into turn one at Austin. Turn one Austin, off the line, cutback is risky. If he pulls it off, I reckon he probably gets the move done on Lando. It felt like he had a decent bit of momentum. He would have got a good run around the outside. It would have been close. It would have been fine margins. It would have been lovely to see. But unfortunately, there were Nico Hülkenberg and Fernando Alonso on his inside. And contact with Hülkenberg then pinged him into Lando, who thought he got kind of away. I mean, surely you look at Lando's on board, you look at Oscar's on board. The thing is, you look at Nico's on board, Oscar's on board, Lando's on board, obviously. And no one's done anything egregious, really. Like, you look at Oscar's on board and you're like, well, of course he's going to cut back. But again, you go into that. It is a risk. It is a big risk. Oscar's in a position where, he's going to be going for everything. At the end of the day, the kind of way it's worked out, it's probably worked out more in Oscar's favour, really, because it's one less event for Lando to close that points gap to Oscar Piastri. So it's one of them. Right, what you saying in the poll? 74% of you are saying racing incident. 26% of you would consider Piastri at fault for that. Which, look, it's where you draw the line. Ultimately, is it risky for Oscar to go to that move? Yes. Does that mean he was at fault? When you say fault for something, like he's done something wrong? No, he hasn't, because it's a move, it's on. It's just that you've got, cars going like a bat out of hell coming up the inside, which they're going to do, again, into that corner. And that's the way it plays out. So, yeah, I mean, I get it, but for me, it's very much racing incident. Science in 23 got hit doing the same thing. Yes, Lowell, that was... but wasn't that more George Russell just going a little bit too harpoony up the inside? Because I remember that one, Lowell, Science in 23. And he tried a little cutback, and then George was going... I felt like George was going too quick there. And I'm pretty sure he didn't have... I can't remember one for one, but up the inside, I've actually got the... I'll just show you it quickly. Woo! Can't show you it too much because otherwise Sky will come for me. But I've just got the coverage there. George is on the Sky pad with Jensen and Karun at the moment, kind of going over things. But yeah, it was a similar... I see what you're saying with the Science 23 one. Thank you, Aditya, as well, for the super chat. Yes, cutback is risky, but if he just immediately slows behind Lando, that could crash out the guys behind. Still unavoidable in any way in that situation. The thing is with Oscar as well. So I guess there's the alternative. Oscar's not going to get the move done into one, so he knows, right, a cutback is my best opportunity here. If he's not going to go for the cutback because he's like, oh, that's too risky, then either he kind of gets out of the throttle, pulls in behind Lando, but then is at risk of losing positions to the cars behind because he's got out of the throttle, or he just kind of drives around the outside and then peels back in behind Lando, which would have been the safest thing to do. But then you are just accepting that you've lost that position against your championship rival in the same car as you. So if you think you've got a switchback, instinctively I can completely understand why Oscar would do that, 100%. Like, it makes complete sense. But again, it's... look, Oscar's not really lost out in the grand scheme of things. Now, of course, if Max Verstappen does come through and win this championship, then he might feel differently by the end of the year. But between Lando and Oscar, you know, it's one less race for Lando to close that gap. So, yes, that sounds pretty good to me. I don't think there's much more to say on that. This is like a diet CHINWAG, all right? It's a diet sprint CHINWAG. We're not going to go into hyper detail. We're just going to cover everything over, because then we've got more qualifying later tonight, this afternoon if you're in America, and then the race tomorrow. So much more opportunity to talk about F1. What an absolute privilege. Right, so those were the sprint quali results. This was the race result. Max Verstappen wins ahead of George Russell, and Carlos Sainz once again sneaking his way onto the little It's not a proper podium, is it? But it's a podium. You got to take it. You got to take it if you're Carlos Sainz. Trust me, if it was Alex Albon, P3, I'd be gassing it up like it's a podium. Let's be real here. Let's be absolute real here, right? Please. Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, P4-5. Great little scrap. Charles really did not give Lewis much room, but he gave him enough room. Hard but fair racing. And Hamilton got one up the inside of Charles. Lewis definitely seems to have had an advantage over Charles this weekend so far. Now it's a matter of taking the learnings, and it's going to be the same for Max, because I think, you know, the fact that George was able to make a move on Max, I know it was an unsuccessful move on Max, and we didn't see it because the broadcast was so late to cut to it. Brundle's there on the comms being like, hang on, that gap's tiny, we should probably be seeing this. And then all of a sudden we cut to it just as his mate, like, come on now, we're not doing this again. Race director, please, I beg. But yeah, great scrap from the Ferrari boys. Plenty of learnings because both cars actually completed the race, which is nice. Albon P6, I'll take that. Look, it's not P3. Shame, but well done, Carlos. Over the course of the season, Carlos has got so unlucky so often. He can have that one as well. More than happy with that. Yuki Tsunoda P7. My God, it's like the heavens just opened for him on that first lap. He did also run over Nico Hülkenberg's front wing, which could have so easily given him a puncher. You think how innocuous sometimes a tiny bit of carbon fibre just destroys your tyre, just blows it up. And then Tsunoda just runs over an entire front wing, carries it for about a third of the track, and then just dumps it on the side. And he's fine. Yeah, he's fine. No issue. No issue. Antonelli P8. Now, he was having a scrap with Ollie, wasn't he? And actually someone who gave a wonderful super chat, as you can hear Minton barking. I think the mother-in-law might have just got home. So don't be stressed if you can hear the dogs going crazy. It's because the dogs go crazy when she gets back. Ollie Behrman got his 10-second penalty scrapping with Andrea Kimi and Antonelli. Thank you, Raphael, for the super chat. Behrman penalty is a joke. Tomorrow we'll have a precedent to follow. Now, Ollie was on the outside. It's in that kind of awkward, I want to say, is it turn 15, 16, that section? And he's on the outside. It's the one where you can take multiple lines. And he kind of runs off the track to hold the position. Antonelli's got the apex. So it's one of them that in the racing rules, it is Antonelli's corner. Watching it back, it's one of them that it's annoying that kind of incident results in a 10-second penalty. Like, damn. But I guess like Ollie's got to hold the position because it's only up to P8 that you get points, and it was the battle for P8. So you might as well hold the position, hope that the stewards come in your favour, and then boom. But unfortunately it wasn't, so he finished P15 technically in the end, even though he's P8 on track in the end. Eesh, that was a bit of an annoying one, but I don't have a massive... Oh yeah, race ban. Jeez, yeah. What's Ollie on now points-wise? What is Ollie on now points-wise? Because, yeah, 10 seconds is harsh, but if he gets a penalty as well, is he on 10 now? Wow. He's actually on 10 now. Ugh. Yikes. Will he be at 12? Oh, he's on 12 now, but he had 10 points for his last crash. So that's him... Oof, I don't know. I don't know. Tough. Not too sure about that. It's 10 second and 2 penalty points for this. He served the penalty, so no points. Is that true, Arjen? I don't know. Look, I'm live here. I don't know what's true, what's real, what's fake. Either way, unfortunate for Ollie, but it is what it is. Shall we talk about the other incidents that went on? First of all, well, Alonso didn't. I didn't even notice Alonso had stopped because he got a puncture. Stroll, Ocon. What, Lance, brother? Lance, Lance gets a bad rap for his driving speed because he can qualify, right? I know he's averaged 0.3 off Alonso, which isn't good enough, but he's not an absolute mug. He can handle himself. He's got podiums in F1. He's scored points in F1. But my good, he sent it from an absolute postcode away. He sent it from California up the inside and just locks up. He's nowhere close to making it. And it's for it's for nothing. It's for no position. All he's done is given his team on his side of the garage a bunch more work to do. He's destroyed Haas's up. Maybe that was the plan. Destroy Haas's new upgrade. Get rid of it. Just harpoon Ocon. So that upgrade that they bought this weekend to the Haas could not see the light of day. And yeah, it's so silly. It's so silly. And he's carry on driving around. He doesn't even pull up at the first opportunity to get the car away quickly so we could actually get a finish to the race. Instead, we finished under safety car. So yeah, Stroll had an absolute howler there. Again, for a nothing position, which is annoying. And then the other howler, of course, the race director. Again, I can't believe it took, we almost missed the one chance because George was, using his battery, pushing hard because he was I've probably got one shot here at passing Max, and went for it. He went too deep. They both went wide. Max kept the position, all's fair. And yeah, we almost missed it, which is great. But yeah, they definitely, Max was saying after, they're going to have to find something, I think. What works in Max's and everyone else apart from McLaren's favour is that McLaren got 0 running, right? Because the race was over by both cars immediately. So it's not even one car, fell to the back, but then still completed the sprint and can get some data. They've got no data to go on. Now, how relevant is that going to be to tomorrow? Remains to be seen. The temperature might be a little bit different, but damn, not good enough for McLaren. But yeah, I mean, again, it's a racing incident more than anything else, in my opinion. Is there any? I want to see if there's any clarification. I'm just going to have a little look on if Behrman's going to get a ban. What is the word? Yeah, so it's 10 penalty points going into this weekend. 12 penalty points is a race ban, and he's just done that. I'm not sure. I mean, we don't know yet. Ultimately, they seemingly haven't confirmed. I can't see any confirmation about a Behrman points ban. Who would fit in? Would Rio Hirakawa be able to pay for the opportunity to race? Because he's got a super license. He's definitely got a super license. Search the FIA guidelines for penalties. Oh God, I don't want to search FIA guidelines as much as that would give me the answer later. I do not want to do. That's the last thing I want to do during the live stream. Look, by the time either you're here live and we're not 100% sure, or the race is done and you're watching this after the fact and you already know whether Ollie Behrman's got a penalty or not. But imagine K-Mag back. Imagine K-Mag back for this one. That would be unbelievable. Oh, brilliant. Thank you, Raphael, again for the super chat, by the way. What's your take on papaya rules? Can we have more repercussions for this incident? Repercussions are the new papaya rules, That's literally what it is. I just that I don't know if McLaren told their drivers not to mention anything about any repercussions, and then Oscar was just like, I'm going to say it, because it just created this whole media storm, and we don't know what this repercussion is against Lando, and it's just, I'm kind of bored of it, and that's why, as much as I would love to see a new driver win this Drivers' Championship, be that Oscar, be that Lando, whichever driver deserves it, I want to see him win it, and Max has won enough, right? But to have Max in this title fight, you know, and now Max is just 55 points. I added all this up myself because the F1 website and F1 and 25 Wikipedia didn't update, but these points should be correct. 55 points now. Max Verstappen's behind Oscar Piastri. If he can factor in this championship fight, that should make it way more interesting for all of us. And surely, if it gets to that point where Max is actually a genuine factor, McLaren needs to just stop being a bunch of wetties, to be honest, and just be like, let them race, hands off, stop being wet wipes, and just get on with it, you know? That's just the way I feel. That's just the way I feel. That is just the way I feel. And you know who else feels the same? Matthew. Thank you, Matthew Brown, for the super chat. Do. 5-time champion. We shall see, won't we? We shall see. I said this in my video covering, you know, is Max genuinely in this championship fight? If he could get through Singapore without a massive, you know, stinker of a weekend, which didn't happen, you know, be that Austin, be that Mexico, be that even kind of Abu Dhabi season finale, you know, Brazil. Of course, that suits Max and his style inherently, especially if it rains. There's a chance. There is a chance. There is a chance. Zach Brown is blaming Nico Hulkenberg. Yeah, he did kind of. Zach kind of when they asked him on the comms, "Oh, Zach, what do you make of it?" He was just like, "Yeah, drivers driving." Like, what more could have Hulkenberg? You watch Nico's onboard; he couldn't have done any more. He couldn't have done any more. So, McLaren is a HR department disguised as an F1 team. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Josh. That's I'm assuming HR department. Not a very good one. So it turns out, not a very good one. Thank you. Someone else's super chat that I missed. Thank you, Ragav. Appreciate for the super chat. Thank you very much. Carlos is in the top 10. I used to pray for times like this. He has been on one since you tweeted Carlos's 18th, Tomo. There you go. It couldn't retain. It couldn't maintain. We couldn't keep him in P18. It wasn't acceptable. Now he's P. Look at him. Look at him thrive. I know the points gap to Albon's still way too big relative to what it should be, but science is P10. Science is P10. Also, I couldn't be asked. I didn't have time, and I was like, is showing you the constructors that interesting today? No. So here's the driver standings updated. Of course, science jumps up big time. What else has changed? Tsunoda's jumped Gasly. Anything else in terms of positionally? I think that's it. I think it was just Tsunoda jumping ahead of Gasly, and then Sainz jumping from P12 to P10. Otherwise, all the same. All the same. Will they be able to fix the cars for quality? Yeah, obviously this is the challenge for, I guess, Aston Martin with Stroll, with McLaren, with both their cars. Because even an innocuous bit of contact, you don't know how that can affect gearboxes. You don't know how that can put hairline fractures in components that they might, you know, think, oh, that's fine, and then it won't be fine tomorrow. Obviously, now they've got to re-engineer the car as well for qualifying, because then the car will go back into parc fermé conditions. So not only have McLaren got to repair both their cars, and Aston Martin got to repair Stroll's car, and Haas got to repair Ocon's car, they've got to also change the setup and hopefully, from all the independent teams' point of view, add performance. So we'll see. Pour one out for the Aston mechanics. Jam, yeah. Pour one out for the Aston mechanics. Yes, one of the Williams had damage as well. There was a wheel cover knocking about, wasn't it? But it wasn't too bad. Nothing too serious. Nothing too serious. Alonso's car's still on tow truck. Really, Savar? Interesting. That's not ideal, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. Right, okay. So that's what happened. These are the driver standings. This is how the race finished, and this is how sprint quali went. That should say sprint results instead of race results, but I'm an idiot. And yeah, the incident, racing incident, 74% of you have now voted on that as racing incident, and I agree. 26% Piastri. It's risky, it's bold from Oscar, but I can't put him at fault. I can't seriously sit here and be like he was at fault for that. So it is what it is. Sorry, thank you, Raphael. If you be a colour, what did it taste like? It tastes like strawberry because pink, you know. Hope you're well, Raphael. Ferrari depression is stronger this year. Yeah, I mean, it's been. I can't keep betting on Ferrari now. I put Charles Leclerc to win the Drivers' Championship this year, didn't I? Oh, that feels like so long ago. That feels like so long ago. But yeah, I'm going to wrap this. Thank you all for joining me. You will see me again tomorrow for the post-race CHINWAG for the 2025 US Grand Prix around Circuit of Americas in Austin. Hopefully everyone can fix their cars, and hopefully qualifying will be a banger. We know Max is going to be quick. We know the McLarens are going to be quick as well, within a tenth. Norris and Verstappen, and hopefully Ferrari, please, I beg. I'm not a religious man, but I want it to be a thing. Find some performance, please, Ferrari, I beg you. And you'll get Minton tomorrow, don't you worry. If you turn up tomorrow, then you'll get some Minton, okay? I'll promise you that. Although, actually, I was thinking this earlier. The race should finish at about 10 p.m. And then I do the Talking Ball race report straight after the race. So that takes up about half an hour to an hour of my time straight after the race. Then I like to leave it a good 4 hours, usually 3 to 4 hours before going live, because then I can watch all of the post-race driver chats and stuff like that. So then I won't be going live until like 1, 2 a.m. And I'm just going to be like a zombie, which it might be funny at the start, but then it will probably get a bit annoying that I'm just yawning all the time. So I might go live Monday morning, or I'll go live Sunday night. I'll see how I feel. So watch this space. Thank you, Kira Sava, Catherine, Algiz, Anthony, Martin, Big Man Pat, Awkward MMA, DR, Matthew, NK McFrin, Freya, Ajinkya, Indrek, Harrow, Infinite, Burkosaurus, Dino, Joey, Christopher, DR, Sophia, Flaming, Kalion, Ari, Nathaniel, Hellman. Is that Hellman? Yeah, Hellman. Yeah, I've got that right. Kirill, Alexis, Short Guy, Hadlam, Blade, Karoon, Patrick, and the rest of you. 28-minute stream. Love it. My name's Tomo. Thanks again. Have a good one. Ta-da.